Good morning. My name is Kyle Johnson. I'm a Community Resource Officer for the City of Sioux Falls. Today I'm going to talk to you about National Night Out, which is August 5th. National Night Out is a national program Sioux Falls is a part of, and it is August 5th. It's been around for more than 20 years in Sioux Falls, and we have about 26 different groups participating this year, and with 25 different locations. It is an opportunity for us as a police department to interact with different groups in a with a non-emergency type of situation, and for us to talk to different groups of individuals about their concerns in the neighborhood, get to know them as individuals, and just to kind of hang out with different people within their groups, neighborhood groups. With us participating during that night is also the fire department and also different departments within the city as well. The fire department has 12 stations within the city that's also going to be participating with us. Obviously, with the fire department and the Sioux Falls Police Department participating, it's all call dependent. So obviously with calls for service within the city of Sioux Falls, we are trying to make all we can do as far as the groups participating with the calls for service. We try to make all the parties that are going on call dependent. But it is, we look forward to it all year round with our officers and the fire department as well, and the city departments. It is a great time, ranging from big parties down to people having parties in their driveways. Command staff from both fire department, city departments, city staff, and the police department are also attending, including Chief Toom, and the world-famous Leo, the therapy dog, is also, I heard, is coming as well. So, yeah, it's going to be a great time. We look forward to it every year. Unfortunately, it is as far as entries, it is closed off for this year. We do look forward to new entries next year. So if you are wanting to have your group, your neighborhood participate next year in National Night Out, it's normally the first Tuesday in August of next year. So start making plans this year so that way we can see you next year. And so that way we can get you on the list, and so we can participate next year, and you can see us, the fire department, and the different city departments. With that, I'd like to invite Kevin Smith, the Assistant Director of Planning and Development Services, to the podium to share more about what they do to help these neighborhood groups. Thank you.
Thanks for the introduction, Kyle. And in addition to police, fire, you'll probably see a number of city council members out at the different events. I think there's like 26 scheduled this year, and in the past, there's been a lot of creativity, everything from making homemade root beer to face painting and food trucks and on and on and on. So the idea of neighborhood cohesiveness and the combination of neighborhood night out and what I'll talk about in a minute is really a great example of how well our community works together on events like this. Some of the neighborhoods that are involved this year are Granite Valley, Kingswood, Misty Glen, Tut Hill, Pettigrew Heights, Cathedral, Oakview, Whittier, and All Saints. These are well-known neighborhood associations for many of us. Several of them have been around for years, but each year we see new neighborhood associations being created, and one of the ways we support those neighborhood associations is through the Neighborhood Grant Program. So specifically for Neighborhood Night Out, we provide up to $500 to defray the costs of Neighborhood Night Out events for specific neighborhoods. So if you have a neighborhood association who's been created, you're wondering, geez, how are we going to pay for the inflatables or defray some of the other costs? The city will provide that funding directly to you. And by extension, the Neighborhood Grant Program, this year, I think we funded 13 projects at a total cost of around $100,000. And those are funds that go directly to neighborhood associations for projects they've created and they're going to execute. And this is it's a great way to provide direct funding to the people who need it for the projects they've envisioned. And it's a very simple process, all things considered, for obtaining city funding. But it also is a way for neighborhood associations to come together. And this year, we've funded everything from signage to sculptures to reforestation, on and on and on. But again, these are projects that the neighborhoods have come up with themselves. So we're very proud to be able to support them in the way they need. And it isn't a city project. It truly is neighborhood driven. And again, our goal is to help neighborhoods be more cohesive with the resources they have at hand. 2025 funding is fully out there. The next round of funding will be open in February of 2026. So for anyone who is considering starting a neighborhood association and is interested in a project, and again, anywhere from $500 up to, like $13,000 was the largest grant this year. That's a substantial amount of funds that are available. And if it helps you and your neighborhood come together in a positive way, and whether you're out planting trees at Lincoln Commons or reforesting your neighborhood, we'd like to participate. So again, that information is available at siouxfalls.gov/neighborhoods. We've got a tremendous amount of information available, and we will have city staff out along with police and fire. And this year specifically, Planning and Development Services staff is going to be out wearing their Shape SF 2050 t-shirts, because we also want to be sharing information about our upcoming or nearing completion 2050 comprehensive plan, which directly impacts neighborhoods. So please come out and visit with our staff. You'll see police and fire in uniform, and planning staff will have our t-shirts on. So with that, we'll take any questions. So I'll call Kyle back up to the podium. Kyle?
Kevin, you were talking about the grant program and a few examples. What are the parameters of that grant program? Because you talk $13,000. That's a pretty big project. Like, what can and can't I do with that cash?
No good project goes unfunded. And I would say the requirements are very flexible. We don't even require a match, which most grant programs do. What we just ask is it be part of a neighborhood association so that we know where the money is going and it's somewhat trackable. But it can be just a handwritten sketch of what you plan to do, and it's a reimbursement. So, we need invoices so we can pay you for the work. But as creative as neighborhoods want to be, we want to be able to provide that level of funding. So it's, again, considering it's a city program, it's pretty flexible, and it was designed that way specifically to let neighborhoods envision what it is they want to do. And like this year, there's some intersection artwork that I think the Downtown Neighborhood Association is going to do, which we had not envisioned, but again, really willing to provide funding for that. If that's what the neighborhood needs, we'll provide funding for it.
Your little traffic calming bump outs over there in the southeast, something like that. I mean, how far will it go?
Some neighborhoods have used it to fund speed signs, right? So specifically in their neighborhoods where they think it's needed. And again, these are city funds, so there will be some city resources, but the bump outs you're talking about, those are CIP projects, which we're funding through traffic engineering. But if there's something special, something more, where a neighborhood says, we'd like a solar speed sign right here, then to the extent we've got the funding to provide, and that's their priority, we have funded a number of those. So it isn't just the sculptures and art, which we think is great. But again, if that's the highest priority for a neighborhood, we'll find a way to get it funded.
The associations really started in the core, and they've begun to spread out. How many associations are you at now? And do you want more? Just keep them coming in?
I think we're probably around 25 ish, and half of those are fairly active, which is really the result. You look at the 13 grants that were awarded for 2025. That's real indicative. But to your point, sure, some of the more well-established neighborhoods, Whittier, Pettigrew, Cathedral, All Saints, on, those have been around for a number of years. But we're seeing Granite Valley, which is on the far north end of the community, and Heather Ridge, which is on the far south end. And case in point, Heather Ridge being one of the newer associations, their project is to rehabilitate an old baseball field near Journey Elementary. So it isn't just continuing to support the existing neighborhoods. We certainly support anytime there's cohesiveness within a neighborhood group, and more is better.
Kyle, on National Night Out, do you have to be an association to have an event?
No. So actually, the national one actually started with Neighborhood Watch, and so we kind of morphed into associations, watches, and any type of association or neighborhoods that want to get together and host an event. So you don't have to have it be an association. You don't have to be a Neighborhood Watch per se to host an event. We would like for them to be, right, in the future, but no, you don't have to. The whole premise of National Night Out is for neighbors to get together, get to know each other, and also it's to deter crime. And so get together so that way you can talk to law enforcement officers, you can talk to fire department and talk about fire safety as well. And so it's a safety event. And so that way you can get together, know your neighbors, talk about any concerns you have in the neighborhood with law enforcement, and also learn about fire safety from the fire department as well.
Any other questions?
Give me one good story from National Night Out, the inspiring, coolest, funniest, whatever, you pick.
You know, there's so many, and what it is what the greatest thing about it is, you know, with law enforcement, the patrol officers, their day sometimes isn't necessarily full of, necessarily great things, right? They have to go to a lot of things that calls for service, right? And a lot of times they are getting called because something didn't go right? And so National Night Out is a perfect example of them being able to interact with people on a not on a call for service, right? And so that's for them to interact with people on a way for them to not have something bad happening, right? And not a traffic stop or a domestic violence or anything like that, right? And so they can talk to somebody, and the citizens of Sioux Falls can get to know their police officers, and the police officers get to know the citizens that they serve, right? And obviously the food isn't necessarily a bad deal either for the police officers and the firefighters, I might add too. So it's a great opportunity, and I know that as far as the police department, we always talk about it. They always look forward to it every year, so it's a great time.
Awesome, thank you.